Welcome to another episode of Good News Glenn. Stay tuned, it's all coming up next. Welcome to Good News Glenn. This is the month of November, and we're so excited to be with Mr. Bill Fallon today. How are you?
Hey, great to see you. Happy November. Doing well.
Good, good, good. Thank you. So first, let's talk about what's going on in November with you and the county and everything. Give us some updates, and then we'll move into GIS.
Sure. Yeah, no, that's great. So, a little recap in October. We had Frat Beach, and so that was well done. I think on our part, we had some challenges this year. There was more kids, I think, this year than we had. We had some drones up that hopefully we can get kind of a better idea how many kids we actually had. But unfortunately, this year the amount of beach was just wasn't there as we've had in years past. And so high tide this year was at 4:20, and so about 2:30. 2 hours before high tide, that water was really pushing up against the kids on that beach space that we actually had, and so we pulled the plug early this year. We had to make a decision, but it was a good day overall. I think the kids enjoyed it. Certainly, there was a lot of alumni that were out as well. So even though we had the Coast Guard Beach project being worked on, it really wasn't much of a difference from previous years. We had the same amount of parking lot that we needed for all of our equipment, in the hospital tent and everything else that we had. We didn't have the building with the bathrooms, but we made up for it with additional portlets. And so I think overall it was a good day, but it really goes, the amount of planning and just the amount of time that goes into putting on that day is pretty amazing. The amount of work that everybody does, but overall another successful day. The game's not going to be in Jacksonville next year, but I still think that we're going to have a good amount of kids that are going to show up because I think they're there for that more so than they are for the game.
Yeah, that's what everybody's talking about. Are we going to have a year or two where nobody comes, or is it going to be the same or better? Who knows?
I've been making some side bets with people. I think it's going to be pretty much the same. I think we'll probably lose people, obviously, that some of the alumni that are going to go to Atlanta for the game. We'll have people from here that will travel up to the game. But I think by and large, there's still going to be a lot of people that come and visit us Georgia, Florida weekend.
Yes, good. It's such a great tradition. And it's nice to see the alumni. It's not just the young people. It's everybody gets involved. It's really a community event at this point. So many people are helping, as you said, to prepare.
Yeah, and we'll see what the beach looks like next year. We'll make sure that we're prepared again because, like I said, I still think we're going to have quite a few kids show up. So that was October. We had and last month you had Chief Vinny and Chief Vera on, so it was fire protection, fire safety month essentially. So I know they did well. This month in November, we're going to talk a little bit about GIS. And introduce them, and we could talk about that in a second. But just some of the upcoming things that we have going on, I just wanted to mention. So we do have our SPLOST QER. Actually, we moved it, and we're going to have it. I'll have to get you the date. It's I'm sorry.
Okay.
It's next Tuesday. So whatever date that is. What is that?
Okay.
The 18th? Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think it's November 18th. And so again, just with that, we have a lot of updates, a lot to talk about too on the revenue side too, because that the amount of collections that we have coming in have been more than we had budgeted for, which is a good thing because we have plenty of projects to get done, and we can make sure we get those done. But SPLOST overall is going well. Our other capital projects going well. Couple things coming up in December, though, for sure, as well. And so we have the Christmas tree lighting on December 2nd, and that's going to be out at St. Simon's Island at the pier. So I wanted to make sure that I mentioned that this month so that everybody is prepared. It was a great time last year. This will be the third year that we actually do an actual lighting of a tree down the end of Mallory, right there in front of the pier. So it's a good time. It's a good time bringing the kids out. We'll have fire and police out there as well. So a lot of good stuff going on as usual, but certainly willing to talk whatever you want to talk about this month.
Sure. Yeah, well, I guess November, Thanksgiving's coming up, and we should just be thankful for the great staff and everything going on, the projects that are continuing, and like you said, the funding that's coming in, and just everything. But this month in particular, we are delighted to have GIS. So we're going to be talking about the maps department, really, with Andrew Strickland and Billie Jean Gooch. So if you want to kind of talk about that for a minute.
Yeah, GIS is just one of those. When I came into this job 3.5 years ago, I didn't know a lot about GIS and what they do, but the stuff they do is amazing. In fact, we rely on them. I think I've mentioned it before on this show. So we rely on them heavily for the hurricanes, particularly after a hurricane, to get the drones up and try and do some of that damage assessment. So GIS really plays a pivotal role for us in our reconstitution of our efforts after a storm, or really after any kind of critical incident. So that is part of it. But really, I don't want to steal a lot of their discussion points, but I think you're going to be amazed with some of the things that they actually get done, things that I didn't realize that they had the capabilities of. But it's got a great staff as well. So glad to see they're getting out and trying to really get the message out on all the great work that they do for the public.
Yes, I know one thing we are going to talk about with them is the GIS Day, which is coming up November 19th. So that is something they're excited about, and we can't wait to hear more about that. But yes, I agree with you. I thought GIS was, property
Mm-hmm.
search or something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But yeah, we're excited to hear what else they do and the drone program and all of that. So yes, that's coming up.
Yeah, so that's again, there's a lot of those little things, a lot of those departments that we have or offices that we have that kind of are the unsung heroes at times, and so I'm glad to see GIS out there in the forefront and getting some exposure with the public, and so yeah, I think you'll be pleasantly surprised with some of the things that they're going to be able to talk to you about.
Yes, exactly. You mentioned I had no idea that they were in any way involved with hurricane or hurricane data or anything. So there's so much more to that department than anybody realizes. So can't wait for that. Anything else you want to talk about before we move on?
Well, you mentioned Thanksgiving. So this month also is the RSM. So the island's going to be pretty busy next weekend, or the weekend of the 20th in that time frame. 20, I think I'm not sure exact dates, but it's a little bit later this year. I think it's the third weekend in November with the RSM, and so we're helping out there as well. We'll help with traffic and some of the security aspects of it. But the island will certainly be pretty crowded when it comes to those 4 days that the tournament is actually being played. In addition to the couple of days that they get here for practice rounds and pro-am and stuff. So a lot going on here in Glynn County. We across the rest of the county, there's a lot of projects that are wrapping up. We're finishing up Canal Road roundabout. I know you've heard me talk about that several times, but I'll tell you, my friends out of FLETC, every time I see and talk to them, they just can't thank us enough for getting that project done. That traffic out there was just horrendous for them, and so I know it's been a little bit painful with the construction going on out there for the residents as well as the people that work out there. But now that we're pulling up the barrels, getting the striping down, some of the other things, it's really going to be a benefit to the whole community out there. getting that traffic problem fixed out there. So that's a big one. And then just some of the other things that we have going on. Coast Guard Beach, we're still working there. We're still working on the tidal pools, and a couple of things have changed out there. So we got to go back and figure out exactly what's going to work best and what's going to work with as far as permitting goes for DNR and the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers. So it doesn't stop, Avery. We're working hard at everything we do.
Yes, yes. I'm reminded through these shows that it is like 365 days a year. It used to be, I mean, obviously the county, but just keeping everything maintained and getting ready for the next thing. There's always something. So it's year round. It's year round. There's no season or, time where you're working hard and you can take a break. It's all the time.
Nope, not at all. And that's, hey, we have great staff to do it. So our staff are fantastic. And so they're always positive, and they really do a fantastic job for all of us.
Good. Yes. Well, thank you so much for all this great information today. We look forward to the interview with GIS and learning more about that. And have a great Thanksgiving.
All right. You too. Thank you.
Okay. Bye-bye. Stay tuned. Another episode of Good News Glynn is coming up next. Welcome to another episode of Good News Glynn. We're so excited to be with the GIS department today with Andrew Strickland and Billie Jean Gooch. How are y'all today?
Doing good.
Doing well. Thank you.
Good. So this is new for us. We have not had you on before, and I know there's a lot to talk about. Let's jump right into it, and then we'll kind of get to know you a little bit. But I know there is a big GIS day coming up November 19th. Let's talk about that for a minute, and then we'll talk about specifically what y'all do, maps, applications, drone program, all of it.
GIS Day is going to be at the library from 10 to 2 on the 19th. Anybody can come learn about GIS. You want to say something, Billie Jean?
Yeah, we plan to have all of our things that we do in our office, and help the public know what we do in our everyday, in our GIS work.
That's so nice. Does each department have a day? Or is this new for your department at the library?
This is something that our software company, ESRI, it started a long time ago, and they encourage each GIS department for each county or municipality to have one to just kind of let people know what GIS does.
It really is a worldwide event. It's not just in Glynn County. So it's something you could catch if you weren't even in Glynn County. You could probably find a GIS Day event.
Okay, that's so interesting. I did not know. I thought maybe it was just for Glynn County. I didn't know. That's great. What a great thing. So it'll be at the library. All right, tell us, you're going to obviously talk about this at the library, but tell us here for our viewers about exactly what you do.
So our department is kind of unique. In most counties, they have a GIS person in several departments, but our GIS department is all in one department. So we have 8 people in our office, and everybody does something a little bit differently. So we have a person who does all of the addressing and road naming. We have a person who records or reviews the recorded plats, make sure they're correct. We have a person who does parcel ownership. We have a guy who goes out and does all of the survey work, the GPS work, shoots points. We have a person who flies drones. And then Billie Jean and I kind of do everything else. We do the analysis. We make maps for any and everything. We make site plan maps for permits. We're kind of the do-it-all. So.
Wow. Very busy. Lots of things at your department. The drone program, it all sounds interesting and all very important, but the drone program, tell us about that.
So in 2017, we're part of IT. And so IT decided that they wanted to have a drone program, and we were it. For a little while, we were the only drone program in the county. It was just us. And so to become a drone pilot, you have to take a test. It's not like a flying test. It's more like a written test from the FAA. It's called a Part 107 license. And for a little while, we were the only department that did that, but eventually we helped the police and fire and sheriff's office get their own drone program started. So now we're a little more boring now. We mostly do pictures of SPOS projects, construction projects, things going on in the county. You know, we don't do crime and fire anymore, which is good for us. So.
Right. That keeps you busy enough, right? Just the plats of land and trying to get that drone aerial footage. So important. People really want to see that on a map on the GIS. So that's really, really great.
Yes, it's pretty cool. So the drone technology changes a lot. If you don't keep up with it, you'll get left behind for sure. So a few states have even outlawed, the Chinese-made drones. The biggest company in the world is DJI, which is a Chinese-based company. So there's kind of an ongoing legal thing you have to keep up with about what's legal and what's not legal. So
Interesting. Right. Wow. Because it
We'll
can
have
be
one of
dangerous.
our drones at GIS Day. So
What was that?
we'll have one of our drones at GIS Day.
At GIS Day. Excellent. Yes. Yes. Will you do a demonstration or just kind of show the product?
we can show the software. We have one that does thermal imaging too. So usually we'll set it up and let the kids kind of see themselves in the FLIR, in the
Yeah.
signature. So.
Super cool. Awesome. Okay. Well, that's an important part and kind of a fun part, I would think, but a lot to keep up with all the rules and guidelines that are changing constantly. Tell us about maps and applications.
So in our office, we basically have many applications that the public uses, and we have internal applications. And on GIS Day, we plan to have those on display, or so we can answer questions on how to use them or how to get the most out of them. And these applications range from the QPublic site that everyone uses. Most people are familiar with that. But we also have a contour application and a flood mapping application. Am I missing anything, Andrew?
Those are probably the two big ones people use from our website. Everybody thinks that the QPublic site is GIS, but that's just our public-facing, public record version of it. So those are probably our most popular ones that we use. Is the people come to our website for is QPublic, and then the flood maps and the contour maps. We also will talk about at GIS Day. Anytime we can, we'll talk about our EMA dashboard, which is how we get information out during a natural disaster, usually hurricanes around here. But it's kind of a one-stop shop for everything weather and hurricane related. So.
Yeah, talk a little bit more about that. That's so important.
So after Hurricane Irma and Matthew, we were trying to keep up with several websites at once that were kind of live. We would put live data on there, like traffic hazards or water over the road or the hurricane path or
Power outages.
So we just put all that in one website. We call it the EMA dashboard. And now another tab we have in there is the weather station that the city of Brunswick has on top of their fire station on Gloucester. So you can go there and see the live weather. It gives way more information than you would ever need about local weather. And I think it refreshes every minute or so, something like that. So it's pretty neat.
Yeah.
That sounds great. Yeah. So many helpful tools that people are using day to day, but then especially in a disaster, hurricane time, or just flooding in the coastal area. This is what we've kind of the theme, what we've been talking about each department is because we're a coastal area, there really is more to do. There's more to think about and more to consider being, surrounded by water a lot of the time. So it's a lot to keep up with, I can imagine.
It's pretty cool. Anytime we can, I think right above my shoulder back here, I don't know if you can see it or not, that's our evacuation and reentry map. We give those away as hard as possible. Emergency management gives them away. So if you don't know, the county's broken up into 3 evacuation zones, A, B, and C. And then it'll give the routes that are suggested to get out of the county with. So we give those away to kids at school. We give them away everywhere we can. So
We'll have some at GIS Day.
GIS Day on November 19th. Yes. Awesome. Well, anything else y'all want to talk about? I was going to ask you, you said everybody's kind of consolidated into one department versus some other counties. I guess you've got a GIS representative in each department. So that is the difference within Glynn County. But what about demolition, condemnation, land? Is that also within your department, or is that a totally different department area?
So we get a lot of information from other departments that we use to display. So, we get a lot of information from community development, like the zoning and the construction, the certificates of occupancy, all that type of stuff. We do display on maps and on Q Public when we get the information from the permitting and the building office and stuff like that. So our main job is to really take data and information and put it out there in a way that the public could easily understand it. So.
Right. Okay.
We're tying a location to all this data, and it comes through our office, so we can disseminate it to the public or internally.
Exactly. Yeah, that's so important. It all floods into you, and you've got to figure out how to get it out the right way, and like Andrew said, in a way that people understand, in a way that people can easily access and user friendly. Has the new website helped y'all at all, or I think it's better?
It's good. I think it's just as easy for people to find what they need from our website. Okay. It looks a little cleaner, so we haven't had any complaints. People can still get to the Q Public site and the flood zones and the things they need to get to. So our Q Public site I think it gets over 400 uses a day. So it's a high traffic site, so we had to make sure people could still get to that, or else they'll get really upset.
Yes, and sometimes no change is good, because it's like they're used to the way sometimes that happens. We change it, we have to update, and now nobody can use it, and it's
everyone's links have broken, and so then they had to call us, and maybe we just guide them to where they can find the information now.
Right. Excellent. All right. Well, let's talk about the two of you. So how long, Billie Jean, have you been with the county?
So I've been with the county 2 years now.
Okay.
Yeah.
And in this department the whole time?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Some people, change departments and okay, nice. Are you from here?
I am from Glynn County. Yes.
Okay.
Give or take. I've spent some time out of the country and back and forth and whatnot. So I'm here permanently right now, though, with my kids. So
great. Okay. Awesome. What about you, Andrew?
Yeah, I've been working here almost 12 years in GIS the whole time. So before this, I worked for Plum Creek Timber Company, and I was out in the middle of nowhere all the time. So it was a big change for me to work in an office mostly. So, but it's good.
Yeah. Good. Wow. 12 years. Yeah. Okay. Well, anything else y'all want to talk about before we wrap it up?
I don't think so. I would encourage everybody to check out the new website, or if you have questions about it, give us a call. We're not one of those departments that doesn't pick up the phone. There's always somebody here to answer the phone or help you at the counter. So let us know.
Okay, awesome.
Visit us on GIS Day.
Absolutely. So GIS Day, November 19th, open to the public. It's at the library. So this is very exciting, and we're so glad to have you today. And thank you so much for all this wonderful information. It's so important, and we appreciate everything you do.
All right. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Okay. See you later.
All right. Well, hard to believe it's already November, Avery, and next month will be December. But hopefully you had a great show, and looking forward to see what GIS had to say. And we'll just enjoy your holidays, and we'll see you next month.
Thank you. You too. See you later. Bye. That's it for this episode of Good News Glynn. Stay tuned for more Golden Isles TV coming up next.
RSM Classic is one of my favorite events of the year.
It's a phenomenal way to end the year, coming down here to St. Simon's. I just think it's a slam dunk week. I love the golf course. I love the laid back vibe. Everybody's so nice and welcoming, and it just sort of adds to the experience of being here.